Good morning and welcome to the virtual service for the Unitarian Church of Hinsdale. We are so glad to be with you this morning. I'm going to begin today with words from Mother Teresa. She writes, "Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin." If you have a chalice or a candle at home, I invite you to light it as we listen to these words from Yvonne Arborough, as Pam Fodor will read them for us.
The flame consumes the wick, constantly changing and dancing, sharing its radiance with us. So may our souls be aflame with divine love, sharing our radiance with others.
Now you can join in saying our covenant aloud together, please.
We promise to listen and learn together with compassion, curiosity, and an open mind. Engage in creating a warm and welcoming community. Work together and beyond our walls to address social and environmental challenges. And with our time, talent, and treasure, support our church and its mission.
Thank you, Pam. Now she's got a story to tell us about the value of time.
Imagine there is a bank that credits your account each morning with $86,400. It carries over no balance from day to day. Every evening deletes whatever part of the balance you failed to use during the day. What would you do? Well, you'd spend it, of course. You'd draw out every cent. Each of us has such a bank, but it's not money, it's time. Every morning, it credits you with 86,400 seconds. Every night, it writes off as lost whatever of this you have failed to invest in a good purpose. It carries over no balance. It allows no overdraft. Each day, it opens a new account for us. Each night, it burns the remains of the day. If you fail to use the day's deposits, the loss is yours. There is no back. You're drawing against the tomorrow. You must live in the day's deposits. Invest it so as to get from it the utmost in health, happy, success. The clock is running. Make the most of today. To realize the value of 1 year, ask a student who has failed his final exam. To realize the value of 1 month, ask the parent of a premature baby. To realize the value of 1 week, ask the editor of a weekly newspaper. To realize the value of 1 day, ask a daily wage laborer who has a large family to feed. To realize the value of 1 hour, ask lovers who are waiting to meet. To realize the value of 1 minute, ask a person who has missed the train or the bus or a plane. To realize the value of 1 second, ask a person who has survived an accident. To realize the value of 1 millisecond, ask the person who has won a silver medal at the Olympics. Treasure every moment that you have, and treasure it more because you shared it with someone special, special enough to spend your time. And remember that time waits for no one. Now, please join in our opening hymn with Karen Mooney. It is Something to Have Wept.
It is something to have wept as we have wept, and something to have done as we have done. It is something to have reached when all have slept, and seen the stars which never see the sun. It is something to have smelt the mystic rose, although it break and leave a thorny rod. It is something to have hungered once, as those must hunger who have ate the bread of gods. You have known the things that from the weak are furled, a fearful ancient passion strange and high. It is something to be wiser than the world, and something to be older than the sky. To the blessed are our ears, for they have heard. Yea, blessed are our eyes, for they have seen. Let the thunder break on human beast and bird, and lightning, it is something to have been.
Thanks to my wife. Good morning, everybody. It is so glad to have this time together this morning. How are you doing? Are you recovered from all the rain? Are you being able to grow things outside, or at least appreciate the green that we have happening outside? On this beautiful summer morning, summer came just on time, didn't it? Just kaboom. I want to thank everybody who works so hard to bring the service to you each week. This morning it was Suzanne Williams, Jean Schaefer, Kathy Salzano, Carrie Mooney, Jamie Passman, and Pam Fodor. There's not too many announcements this morning, besides that we will be having our finance meeting after the church this afternoon. So if you forgot about that, remember to check for your link. But if you've been feeling bored or isolated or alone, the church has many ways for you to connect virtually. So please make sure to read your news and notes and check our website to see what's going on and how you can connect. And if you have anything that you would like to share, we invite you to set up a time and invite people to talk to you. There's no reason to be lonesome or alone during this time of isolation. And it's been going on a long time now. So if you are running into any trouble, if you need some support, please reach out to us so that we can help. We have funds set apart to support our members, and bags of groceries if that could be helpful. Just let us know. Now, next week's service is going to be a fun collection of songs and offerings by your fellow church members. They're calling it the UCH Pandemic Coffee House. So I hope you come and join us next Sunday to be able to see all that beautiful sharing. But we're going to start right now with a short reading from Pam again. And it's the lyrics to On a Clear Day.
On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near, a world you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and evermore. Thus ends the reading.
Thank you, Pam. Now, if you have an extra candle at home, I invite you to light it now for any intentions that are weighing on your heart, anything that's sad that you're holding on to, the grief of being apart from one another, the grief of losing people we love, the grief of remembering those who have gone before us, or any joys that you have, the joy of the bird song in the morning. If you have something that you would like to share, you're always welcome to type it into the chat at the bottom and type it in all caps so we know you want to share it. And at the end of this reading, we will share that with our community. Now in this moment, I invite you to take a deep breath in and then a long cleansing breath out. Sit for just a moment, listening to see if you can hear the birds. What is it rests in your heart this morning. The poem that I'm going to share is called Attending, and it was written by Amy Shaw. For all who die in war, for all who live in suffering in the aftermath of violence, for all who have served, we lift our hearts. For our country and our world, for a planet that will find peace, for the young and the innocent, we lift our hearts. For the weary and the war-torn, for those who would pray, for those too angry to cry, we lift our hearts. For all of us, for the many names of God, Shanti, Shalom, Peace, Salam, for all that we hold dear. Amen, and blessed be. And invite our folks to read aloud the intentions that have come across the chat this morning.
We celebrate Leah's graduation from high school this week. We are so proud of her, and she is off to Drake University in the fall. We share thoughts with Lisa, still hoping for her sister Joni to wake up from her coma. Kitty's a little nervous about starting to cut hair again on Friday, so we are thinking about her. And we send thoughts to Kathy as she lost a colleague and friend to cancer on Friday.
And from Leo, who is grateful that his mom had successful cancer surgery a few weeks ago and is home recovering. From Susan, celebrating her and Jeff's 31st wedding anniversary. Woo! Jim, who's celebrating Andy's graduation from high school this week, and he will be going on to the University of Michigan in the fall.
For all those intentions. Oh, is there more, KPM?
No, I was just gonna say I don't think there were any more.
Okay, very good. For all those intentions and any more that are being held in your hearts and not being shared this morning, our hearts are with you. Now we'll have a response from Karen.
I have another reading for you today titled Philosophy of Time. All animals except humans live in a continual present, with no sense of the temporal distinctions of past, present, or future. Our consciousness of time is therefore one of the most important distinguishing features of humankind, and one of the things that truly separates us from other animals. It comes as no surprise then that from time immemorial, philosophers, teachers, and theologians have speculated on the true nature of time. Does time have a substance? And if so, what is it made of? How do we know that time really exists? Does time have a beginning and an end? Is it a straight line or a circle? One way of looking at cultural attitudes to time is in terms of time orientation. A cultural or natural preference towards past, present, or future thinking. The time orientation of a culture affects how it values time and to the extent to which it believes it can control time. For example, America is often considered to be future orientated as compared to the more present orientated France and the past orientated Britain. Often, but not always, a past orientation arises in cultures with a long history, like India or China, and a future orientated in younger countries, like the USA. Future orientated cultures tend to run their lives by the clock. The United States is one of the fastest paced countries in the world, perhaps partly due to the fact that many Americans are always looking to the future, striving for the American dream. It is a culture that values busyness, which equates a hectic and frenzied lifestyle with success, status, and importance. Japan is also an extremely time-conscious culture. Although the Japanese probably lay more emphasis on time management and efficient lifestyles than Americans, and consequently may feel less constantly rushed and frustrated. Past-orientated cultures, like that of India, for example, are much more laid back in the way they look at time. Unlike in Japan, it is not unusual for trains in India to be several hours or even a full day late without creating undue stress and turmoil. It is possible that such cultures, with thousands of years of history behind them, have such a long point of view that time at the scale of minutes or even hours becomes insignificant and inconsequential. Thus ends the reading.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with.
Well, that song's from a very long time ago, isn't it? Time is something that's on a lot of people's minds these days. Some people have way more than they used to, and are not quite sure to do what to do with all that time. And some people are feeling squeezed by a whole slew of demands upon their time without any control over what's going on or how to make a little more space in their lives. Time can go by really quickly, or it can be really slow. Our perception of time is a fluid and very odd thing. I have to share, I've been wrestling with time for a little while now, probably, to be honest, probably since my 50th birthday, but much more intensely since the last couple of years when my parents both passed. They were only 74 and 75, and that seems so young to me. I remember when I was young, when I was really little, and anybody even close to 60 seemed ancient. So our perspective changes how we see time and what our relationship with it. But you know, losing both my folks, especially my mom, who I really thought I was going to have going to be around a lot longer, has me looking at how much time I have on this earth. I mean, if I happen to die at the same age as my mom and my grandma, who died at that same age as well, I only have 17 years left. And I'm old enough to know how fast that 17 years can go by. I've always known that life is finite, that you only have a certain number of heartbeats. But now it seems really finite. It seems like somebody added an exclamation point somewhere. So if I have 17 years, what do I want to do with that time? How does that knowledge impact the choices that I'm making right now? There's an old Buddhist adage that says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It points to the idea that it's not what we do, but it's how we do what we do. It's what kind of awareness that we bring to our life as we go through those motions that we all have to go through in order to support ourselves in this finite time in which our lives exist. So I've been trying to pay more attention, trying to be more fully awake and aware of these experiences life when I'm so much aware of its finitude. I know some of you know Karen and I are moving out into the country, be able to see the stars, be able to hear the birds, to be able to hear the cicadas and the tree peepers and to breathe in the silence of the trees. And I'm looking forward to creating a big garden, to being more present to the seasons, to live in a more connection to the natural world out of which my consciousness arose and will sometime return again. Our story this morning, Pam said that we have 86,400 seconds each day. And how should we mindfully use those distinct fragments of time? How do we make sure we're not wasting those prescient moments that are allotted to each of us? Memorial Day weekend is a great time to be thinking about the preciousness of time. It's a weekend when we remember those whose time was cut short in their service to the country. And in remembering those folks, I want to say that I hold all of you, if you've lost someone in service to the country, we hold you in our hearts this morning. If you have offered your time in service of our country, we hold you in our hearts this morning. If you have someone you love that has either died or has just served this country, we hold you this morning and we hold them in deep gratitude for their gift of time so that each of us can live these blessed lives of freedom. Now, remembering those who have died in the military also makes us remember the people that we have died just in our lives that did not serve, people that we've loved who are no longer with us. One interesting thing that I noticed after my mom died was when I thought about home, I used to think about going back to Amherst, think about going to that place. But after she wasn't there anymore, I was no longer missing a place. I was missing a time. Because if we go back to visit and we drive back past the old house, it looks totally different. They have one of those stars on the front of it. The trees are cut down. It's not my mom's house anymore. It's not my home that I went to. I'm missing that time when she was there to welcome me, when she was there to come out, and when it was a place where I always felt comfortable, where I always felt that I could go home. I'm missing a time. Somehow that felt profound to me. It felt like a different way of seeing the world and seeing all of our memories forward and back. As Pam noted early, time is a very human thing. Animals don't have a perception of time. They live right in this moment. They don't experience anticipation of what might come next week, although they will anticipate sitting at the door if they've heard a car door slam and anticipate one of us coming in. But they don't have regret either about things that happened in the past. So whatever happened in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. They don't fret about it the rest of the day. That's why my Parker is just excited to see me after I've been gone an hour, is after I've been gone 3 days. All she knows is she missed me and now I'm here. Yay! I think that's a blessing and a curse, both. A blessing that you can live so fully in the moment, but a curse that you can't remember all that good that happened in the past or anticipate good things that might happen in the future. I mean, it's a blessing. Our pets can be such a huge blessing. So we're sitting there worrying and anxious about something. They come up and they nudge us and go, stop worrying about that. Feed me or play with me or pet me now. It is a gift and a curse. But because we are humans, because we have this awareness of time, we know that our time on this earth will end. And while that can cast a pall, it also adds a sweetness and an appreciation to each moment that wouldn't be there otherwise. I love to go back and revisit memories of the time spent with my mom. I love to remember when my now middle-aged children were babies and I held them in my arms. I love to remember all those people who had such a profound effect on my life that are no longer here. Those memories are precious, and they point to who I am and how I exist in the world. And those memories are a lot of who my actual identity is. Pam read for us the lyrics of the song On a Clear Day, which came from a movie from a really long time ago. I don't know if any of you remember it. But as I was thinking and pondering and wrestling with time this week, that movie came to mind. So I went and found it on Amazon and I watched it the other night. And it's a very unlikely tale of a professor who hypnotizes a student and discovers that she can recall past life experiences. And this just blows his mind because he didn't believe in reincarnation. And he ends up falling in love with one of her past lives, even though he doesn't like her very much in the moment. And the movie was great. It was okay. It was a lot of great singing. It was Barbra Streisand, who's got an amazing voice. And it was a very, very young Barbra Streisand. What I took away, the gift of the movie, was the immenseness of our actual lives, of what we're connected to. That we are encased in this tiny, discrete, finite space of time. Somebody described it as the dash between the date that we were born and the date that we die. And how much happens on that dash. It is the whole of our life. But the deeper reality is that our finite experience exists in that dash between the day we were born and the day we died. But on a deeper level, we are connected to all eternity. And if we stop and pay attention to this moment, in this moment, we can feel that connection to the eternal. We can know our connection to trees and to stars, to the process of life that is ongoing and rich and full, that encases all of life. That deeper reality that some people call God or the universe or divine otherness, that eternal moment. Experience time is experience a way to appreciate that moment, to see the beauty and the challenge and the possibility, even as we take a breath and are in this moment. It's only because we know our time will end that we can appreciate the gifts that we have in the here and now. Time lets us know that everything changes, that ultimately we have no control over its flow. And it's a gift that allows us to savor this moment. It's a gift that allows us to chop wood and carry water with an appreciation for the time when we are no longer going to be chopping wood or carrying water. Each of us has loved ones that have passed. And this weekend, as we remember them and honor them and mourn them, we also take the lessons that their lives leave for us. This is your time. Don't waste it. Be present to your life, no matter what it brings. When I was, I think in high school, one of my favorite books was the trilogy of The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. And in The Fellowship of the Rings, Frodo says to Gandalf, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." For me, that echoed back what many of us are thinking about this pandemic right now. I wish it need not have happened in my time. But Gandalf replied, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times. But it is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." End quote. Isn't that like all the most difficult things in life that seem so simple and yet are so hard to do? All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given us. On this Memorial Day weekend, I wish you clarity and insight. I wish you the ability to pay attention to each moment. I wish you the ability to hold that eternal moment in your hands, to know that within it you are connected to this finite body and to the infinite universe. And in that connection, in that holding place, everything that ever exists in your life is a gift for you to accept on this day. Today, be well, be at peace, remember your loved ones, and enjoy this blessed eternal moment. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you so much, Jamie. That is so gorgeous. And I just want to note that behind each week, behind all the people who lead our songs, Jamie has recorded all of that music. So it's all Jamie. All the beautiful music you hear today is Jamie. So thank you, Jamie. We are not in church together today. There's no basket to pass. And still, We know that it is what we all bring together that makes this church the essential community that it is. I'm going to invite you this morning just to say our offering words together. This church is made up of all of us. It is what we learn together, the work we do together, and the fun we have together. It's what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with all the world. So if it's at all possible to support the work at this church, you're invited to, you can click on our website and donate there. You can send a check in to the church at any time. Members of your staff do stop in and check the mail on a regular basis. So we appreciate so much that when life is uncertain and hard and many of us not sure what's going to happen next, that you're still being so incredibly generous with the work that is being done here. And on another end, just make sure we're staying connected. So we invite all the folks from our hospitality circles to continue reaching out and connecting the people that are on your list, to continue reaching out for other people that aren't on your list, to just stay connected and hold our sense of community together until we can be together again. Now, I invite you to join in singing our closing song one more time with Karen Mooney and Jamie Bassman. Break not the circle of enabling love.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken? Join with the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race and nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Thank you again. As we extinguish our chalice, we have words titled The Legacy of Lucy Hart by Emma Heatherton. Life is about time. Spend more time than you do money on others. Give more time than any other gift. Also, take when you need to. Take time. Take time for you when you need it. Sometimes time is all that we have with the people we love the most. So today, I ask you to slow down in life. Take your time, but don't waste it. Thus ends the reading. Ann Fodor will lead us as we extinguish our chalice.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.